Okay,
Alrighty,
here we are.
everybody's happy. Good.
Hello, Lips from Anvil, the master from Canadian metal. Here we are.
Here we are.
Welcome to For the Passion, Not the Fashion. It's a YouTube channel from my Dutch friend Marco van Empel. Yeah, I'm Marius Gindra from Germany, a good friend of him, and so we made the deal to.
We can try to talk about some stuff.
Huh?
We can try to talk about some stuff.
Yeah, of course. First, I want to ask you about the new album, which is called Impact is Imminent.
Right.
It's the 19th album, when I'm right. And so, what can we expect of Impact is Imminent?
When can we expect it? I think it's on May 20th. It's coming out on May 20th. What can people expect? Have you listened to the record?
I did, and yeah, it is the typical Anvil sound. It's how I knew the records before, and that's what we love about Anvil. So yeah, I prefer especially Take a Lesson and the video, and yeah, it's a travel to your past. That's all.
Yeah, I think it's a great album, and I think that anybody who liked Anvil before is going to continue liking us. No question about that. And it's not going to convince anybody who hated us to start loving us, because we're still Anvil. We still sound like Anvil. And I don't know how else to explain it. They're different songs, and each song has its own identity, and they're all individual, but together in one thing, and in an overall picture, it still sounds like the same band. But the same band doing a huge variety of styles, and that's what we do. That's what the Anvil sound is. It's like doing everything from really slow, plunging, hard pounding metal to like playing really fast. So it can be anything. It can be rock and roll as well, and that's a very important facet. And if anybody can take notice, there is there is at least one per record, and has been for quite some time now. And that's because that's part of what we are, and we can't ever let that go, because that's part of our history. So, and what do I mean by that? Well, there are two instrumentals on this album, and they're throwbacks to the 1950s and 60s. That's basically and fundamentally what I did. And why? Because that's the origins of my playing, of where I began and where it all started for me. So that's why they're there, and that's what that's about. And it's important for me to express those things. That's all.
That's perfect. So that's what we love about Anvil. Yeah, I saw you like I think 5 times the last 12 years. It was always big fun, especially when I remember the headliner show back at Muskel Rock a few years ago where you played. It was awesome, and I loved it. And yeah, I cannot wait to have you back here in Germany, Europe.
We'll be back.
I know, I know. I'm so glad of that to see you again. And so after all that, what happened the last years?
I believe that there are 9 shows in Germany coming up in October and November. So yes, Anvil's coming to Germany, and I think it's really important. And in fact, I think we're doing places we haven't been in many years, like Stuttgart. We haven't played in Stuttgart in years, and we've got a show there. So I'm looking forward to things like that. I like going back to places I've been, but I like to add new places. You know, there's that as well, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me as well. I will go to Siebener Club in Mannheim. It's a great club. You will really like it. They did a lot of shows also in the pandemic times with the restrictions, what the restrictions allowed, and they're really, yeah, the hospitality is great at that club. So believe me, it will be a great night for all of us. I'm sure.
Yeah.
At the Siebener Mannheim. So really looking forward to see you there. So we do the swap. I think it's a good swap to do. How you realized how you how you saw the corona situation the last 2 years on a private and on a musician mode.
Well, it served 2 purposes. You know what I mean? In a certain sense, first of all, it took us off the road, and that's terrible. So we never got to really tour for the last album. So we basically went from writing back to writing, rather than writing back to touring. So we started writing, and we wrote this album immediately. And of course, surrounded by the circumstances, instead of using it against ourselves, we used it as a positive. We go to rehearsal every day, and then I learned how to set up my computer to record multi-track recordings and all kinds of, so I'm overdubbing guitars, singing and making layers and figuring out all the vocal harmonies and you name it, every possible aspect of what was going to happen when I got to the studio, which is a very, very unusual process because usually I don't do that. That's a producer's job. Okay, we need a harmony here. Okay, which one? Okay, and then he tells you which one, and you build the stuff. That's usually what the producer did for us. But instead, I went and did it. so then, well, because I went and did it, but I did it also with the producer because, of course, with this technology, you're just going click, and now Martin is listening to it, 3,000 miles away in Germany. So
Yeah.
instantly, you know what I mean? Like not tomorrow, not the next day, like instantly. Here, listen to this, and where you sit and we talk and he's listening to the song right there on his, and he's going,
By
maybe,
video chat.
yeah. So you're talking in person. You know what I'm saying? It's in real time. He's listening. You're both listening to exactly the same piece of. It's like you're virtually there. You're virtually there.
Yeah.
So we basically produced the album before going into actually do it.
Yeah.
Which is that's unusual. That's an unusual thing, and that's what this pandemic actually did. You start realizing, hey, wait a minute, this saves time.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, okay, so we went in and recorded. We came to Germany and we came and recorded the new album to Impact Is
in Germany.
Yeah.
You recorded it here in Germany.
Yeah. And we did the video for Ghost Shadow in Germany even before we left. And it's amazing because you're watching me doing the guitar solo, which I had basically just finished doing. When, you know what I'm feeling? I just recorded it. So so it's completely memorized. So as I'm playing the solo in the video, you can see my fingers are doing exactly. It's been recorded, and I just start laughing. It's because it's completely attached to the recording in the sense that by now, like at this point, I'm probably playing the solo a little bit different because I've evolved.
Okay.
It's the same solo, but it's evolved. It's even that much more intense. You've added little things to it and given it its live version. You know what I don't know if you have to understand.
So you did virtual reality, something like virtual reality.
What the difference is, one was done in an overdub, and the other is being done in a line with your rhythm tracks and while you're singing. Okay, but I'm actually performing the song. I'm actually performing the song live when I never really had done it before.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'd never done both, but I was still somehow able, because it was all so fresh to me. I was able to memorize the lyrics. I was able to memorize the solo. It was all just great. I had just learned it. It's not months later where I might do it different. I don't know how else to explain it. But anyway, it's terrific. It came out great.
So about the situation that happened in 2020, we all got shocked. Also, I think for all people who are into heavy metal at all, no matter if musicians, festival visitors, concert visitors, everyone was in a state of shock. They took as our biggest passion to, have it in flesh and blood. There's a little thing, because I got that record. I was locked down, and I remember 2 years later, I saw that sticker, Legal at Last to 2020 in March. I remember it with a cruel head, with a, the situation. So I saw you must have been something around in UK when you were sent back home. in the middle of March. Um, how did you? Were your feelings back then, seeing it 2 years later, being abroad and getting got sent home? Because I had the same situation back then. I wanted to see a festival abroad, and we arrived there, but the festival did not take place uh, from the visitor side. Uh, but from the musician side, it must have been, yeah. What goes
Well,
around in your head?
it's devastating because you've got everybody there, an entire crew and an entire a tour bus. Everything is on the move, and all of a sudden everything comes to an end. And 2/3 of the tour got canceled. And you're going, oh my God! And we're thinking maybe it's going to be 6 months and we'll be back, and then it's like, oh no, this is way worse than we thought. 2 years. Yeah.
It was. Uh, I
Well,
I totally can.
You know what? On the onset of all of it, it was all predicted to be 3 years in total. With vaccines. Without vaccines, they predicted 3 years. Right?
I will.
And because of the vaccine, they did it we got through it in 2. That's right.
Uh, we all hope it's.
See, you know when it's the end of the pandemic, when the variants become really super contagious, and then everybody that gets it's like they got a cold.
Yes.
It's not like they got COVID. It's like they got a cold. It's not really a flu. Okay.
I had it like cold.
You don't get flu symptoms. You get a cold. Is basically what you get. I mean, I just went through it. I just had my second bout with COVID, and I've been vaccinated 4 times, right?
Okay.
And then I got it anyway, but it was over. I was completely over in 5 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
After 2 days, it was pretty much finished, to tell you the truth. But if everybody's saying no, you can still give it to everybody. You got to say, and you're going, I don't feel sick. I'm not sick anymore. Your nose isn't running. You're not. You know when the end of a cold is. You know I'm finished. No more stuffiness. Yeah.
I can totally agree. I'm vaccinated 3 times, and then a few weeks ago I got tested positive at work, and I was completely surprised. I went to work, and then I said, "Well, it's positive," and then they put me in quarantine. So I had to stay at home and listen to heavy metal. Well, anyway.
Yeah, but you're not even sick, right?
No, not really.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what it is. That's the end of the pandemic, because that's it. Now you are super vaccinated because you've actually tested positive for the bug, right?
Yeah.
So you're even better off. So, but the next time around, maybe in a year from now, you might need. They're going to have a new updated vaccine, okay? And you take that once a year. Perfect. And it's like no one, all the hospitalization is fading. People are getting less and less sick and from it because it's becoming less powerful as well.
It shows the same in Germany. Yeah. So, yeah. Getting back to music, you also had a song, have a song on the new albums called Lockdown, where you sing about all that.
Just talked about it, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. From seeing it as musician, that's what I really like. Then that musicians sing about that situation, how they felt and stuff like that. That you see all the sides, not only
It's relatable because everybody lived it.
Yes.
Everybody lived it. So there's if that's not relatable, okay, it might be not something that you want to. It's not even about recall. It's just basically let's get it over with and move on. That's what the song is. It's like get it over with, put an end to it. You know, end this calamity, end it, stop it. You know, that's what the song is about. It's not saying, oh, this is wonderful. And the song is extremely bludgeoningly heavy. So what the hell? I think it works. Sounds good to me.
When we do, I think a lot of people also mention the movie you did back then, of course, because it put you back on the map back in 2008. Yeah. I always think about there might be a lot of people who ask that a little bit about Spinal Tap, my most favorite music movie. What would you say? It's the one is reality and the one is fiction.
That's right.
What would you say? What do you think when you watch Spinal Tap movie?
I think it's making fun of what is very, very serious business.
Yes.
And what a lot of people take very, very seriously. And there are many, many people who do take it seriously find it as the biggest insult. But the real truth is many of the stories and the little things that happened in Spinal Tap were taken from real life. And it's just that real life can be more comical than anything that you're going to write.
Yeah, so that's what I see.
When you know, and it comes down to the biggest bands making the biggest, stupidest mistakes. Like you've got the band lands in an airport in the wrong city to where the concert is because they just got stuff mixed up. And that happens to big bands. We're not talking about bands that we're talking about now they got an emergency and now they don't care that it's going to cost them $500,000 to get the band to the right city. But nonetheless, they got to throw money at it to fix it. Hey, this is a tough business that depends on crazy shit, whether anybody thinks so or not. And there's at any given time there's 100 people on one of these massive tours, and you think about what are the chances that one of them is going to get in trouble or something is going to happen. Really, really high.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about rock and roll, and you've got the kind of people that attracts, and who's working for you, where this, that, the other, and everything around it. So yeah. Is there? Yes, every scenario, and every band out there has experienced half of the stuff that Spinal Tap, and then more, and that's what's so painful. The truth hurts.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and when you told the truth, it pisses you off. But when you first hear it, that's for sure. But it's still the truth. And you know, whether people like it or not, whether they like the parallels between the reality of what the Anvil movie showed and that's your tough luck. If you think that you can do better or you can avert disasters, go ahead. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I tell you, go ahead. You've got my blessing. I'm just saying that you cannot avert problems on the road. They arise. It's the nature of the entire thing, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but seeing it private, you also like Spinal Tap or not?
Of course, I'm not one of those people that got all bent out of shape. Like the Saxon guys. Did you know that Harry Shearer, the guy who acts, Harry Shearer, okay, the
Yeah.
guy who acts as Derek Smalls, okay, went on tour with Saxon.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
He went on tour with Saxon, and that is where the idea of putting a cucumber down his pants came from. Was from Biff.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I did not know that yet.
Well, so
So,
reality meets acting.
okay.
And all
Okay.
the stuff that these guys did research. Okay? The Spinal Tap guys did research. They went out with real bands to see what was going on the road. And then they reenacted the stuff that they saw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what that movie was made up of. So there you go. It's like Spinal Tap is a fictitious movie made about reality.
Okay. I just when I was thinking about the interview, I remember the last time we did an interview, it was for my old print fanzine called Metal Command. We did it in the backstage of Kolossal Aschaffenburg back in 2011. I recorded it with a cassette deck. I still have the tape of that concert. It was 11 years ago,
Wow.
and just listen to it. It was fun to listen to, but you see now everyone's sitting at home, and and the digitality grew in the total speed. And you see, would you see it as positive or negative as a musician? Also selling records, distributing.
Everybody has got to get back out and be normal again. Everybody has to find their way back to being normal. That's what has to happen. And
So
we're
not
to relearn our social skills. You know what I mean? And it's
not
that people are in real life, and you know, it's like I said in the song "Lockdown." We got to learn to breathe the same air. You know, I know that's a big deal. That's a big deal. We got to get past that idea. We got to breathe the same air and feel free to do that. It's terrible, the feeling that put a mask on, don't come near me. It's
terrible.
You know, I got to tell you right now is I haven't felt more secure or more like fuck all of you because I just got over it. You know what I mean? I'm not susceptible, and I'm not giving it. So therefore, I feel like I'm invincible, right? I'm gonna go on the subway. I'm gonna go on the buses. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna go in malls. I'm gonna go in stores. I don't care. No mask. Not worried about it.
Me as well. Only in Germany you have to wear it still in the public transport. You are forced.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Well, that's just trying to protect each other from morning breath.
I like that. I don't know when it will stop.
Just take our time, man, because you know what? It'd be a lot better if everybody's wearing a mask when I get in there in the morning, because holy Christ,
Anyway, in Holland, it's when I was at our chief editor's place 2 weeks ago in Tilburg, in Holland. We crossed the border from Germany to Holland. Holland is absolutely nothing. I did not put out the mask out of my trouser for 5 days. When we had headed back to Germany by public transport. We had to put it back on, put it on at the border, only at the border. That's Germany, and this is it's absolutely ridiculous. But
Hey, unless you have this specific kind of mask, this mask, like this,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't know if
No,
you can see it, but
yeah.
it's it's the
Favorite.
N95. This
Yes,
is the only thing that works at all.
I know. So yeah,
These
that
masks, this does nothing.
I know.
It's just for show, right? Here, brand. It's just for show. It doesn't do anything. If I have COVID, you're going to get it too.
Well, thank you for sharing it. It's
No, but
you can.
it's all true though, man. Because if you don't wear a proper mask, you're really not wearing a mask at all. And I don't think people really got that message through the whole thing. And proof of that is how quickly did the virus still going around? Did it stop anything? Everybody was
Well,
still getting sick. So if everybody was really wearing N95s everywhere, there would have been a reduction for sure. But that's not the case. Most people do not wear, and there was a huge shortage of them everywhere. Hard to get them. So yeah, whatever. We can talk about it forever, man.
absolutely.
I'm up to here. It's like enough. Get it?
Um,
I want to go on the road. I want to go shake people's hands and not worry about it. Right?
we will do in Mannheim again in October.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward, man. Have
Yeah.
you back in Germany? Um, a question about uh, record medias. Um, for example, the trend is going back. Um, you have Spotify, the streaming stuff. CDs are not sold well, it seems, because it's digital, but it's you have something in your hand. But what I want to show you is how about vinyl? Vinyls by I just put it on my balcony again so to see the Anvil classics and what do you prefer, streaming or vinyl?
What, streaming or vinyl?
Yeah.
I don't stream. Well, I do, but YouTube. But aside from YouTube, but I prefer CDs if I have a choice of anything.
Okay.
That's the best storage for music. It doesn't wear out. It's clear. There's no pops and cracks. You don't have to depend on how good the condition of your needle is anymore, or how you're destroying the recording that you have. There's a lot of things that I prefer about CDs over vinyl.
Okay.
Generally speaking, I mean, I'm half deaf. Like for real, I wear hearing aids, and it's not going to make much difference to me whether it's vinyl or CD. My ears don't hear the nuance, not really.
So you prefer CDs over vinyl?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. For me, it will be the vinyl, but it's maybe that old school analog retro intention. But yeah,
I mean,
it's
everybody has their own
yeah,
preference, and that's all. To me, it just seems a lot easier to put the CD in.
yeah.
Then you don't have
It
to
is.
flip it over. You don't have to flip it over. it's as clear as a bell. There's no, I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, we are now slowly turning to the end. Um, what seems important to hear from you is what would you give as a idea how to start a band when you or how to manage a band in today's time
Well,
to 100 people under 20.
well, this is what you have to do. And it's really, really, really important. You have to write music. You have to write music that no one else can do but you. Okay? I know that sounds like pretty far-fetched, but create music that sounds like you. And that's how you actually get somewhere. And if you write every day, you will not only learn how to write, you will get better at writing. And you will eventually write the songs that you've always aspired to write, and learn how to control how you write rather than in it control you. A lot of musicians go through their life waiting for the moment of inspiration to come up with an idea. Well, you don't wait for the moment, you create the moment. And it takes many years to learn how to do that, but nonetheless, you've got to always attempt. It's usually give yourself the first 5 minutes of when you pick up your instrument. You're going to find something you've never played before, record it immediately. It's the moment you were relaxed and not thinking about what you were doing. And that's when the magic of the universe comes through your fingers. It's actually when you're least conscious of it. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's capturing those things is everything. That's the lightning in the bottle. But nonetheless, learn how to write and be unique, because that's the only thing that separates you from the rest of the world. You've got to find your place. And until you do, you will not go anywhere, and you do not make it playing other people's music or using other people's styles. It has to be your style, your thing, and then you have a real fighting chance. That's what I would say to any young guy.
Okay. One thing, or one person we did not talk about until now, but came back into my mind is, of course, your longtime friend Rob. It's how would you say today? Do you still also private when not doing stuff for Anvil? Do you still private meet up regularly without thinking about or talking about music? Because it seems like you are like best friends for life. For me.
I whether I'm rehearsing, whether I'm doing any, I'm in touch with Rob every day.
Okay.
Every day, for 1,000,001 different reasons. Not necessarily music, or not necessarily 1,000,001 different reasons. Okay, but not necessarily. Certainly, music is part of it, but there's every other part of it. You know, if I went away and I left my dog with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's how friendship goes. So
that's real friends, man. It's people who, you know, who do you trust with your dog, right?
Of course.
I do it with my son. I would trust him with my son, and I trust him with my dog. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like That says a lot, if you ask me. On both sides of it, on both sides of that, of what that means. You know, number one is that, am I going to trust this person to look after the dog, that the dog doesn't get lost or stolen or run away? That's one aspect, and then the other aspect is is the dog going to be an encumberment on my friend? Right? Is it going to make a mess in his house? Right? These are things I'm worried about. I'm not worried about him doing something to my dog. I'm worried about my dog doing something to my friend.
So,
that's real friendship. Those are the signs of real friendship. You know what I mean? It's when regardless, it's a double-edged sword. You've got concern, right? It's interesting.
But sorry, I had to laugh about that dog story.
Okay. Anyway, I got to get going. My car is waiting to get picked up, so I got to get going, man.
Okay. So it's only what you can say for all time. Anvil is only Rob and you, not you without Rob. That's Anvil. So, or would you continue without Rob one day?
I don't know that there's a continuation if one of us is gone. No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
It's like there wasn't even a continuation of Led Zeppelin after John Bonham was gone. You can't stop Anvil or you can't continue Anvil without Rob Reiner. You can't do it. I'd call it something else if I was going to continue, but I certainly wouldn't call it Anvil because that's not what it is. That's not what it would be, would it be? So you can't. It's what it is, and it's what it will always be, and that's the end of that. It's already done. We're in our fucking 60s, man. We're going to be putting out we're coming to the 20th album. We're not, hopefully we're around for 22, 23, 24 albums. Let's just hope. But like I said, we're in our 60s, so it's not that likely.
Okay.
So, I mean, we all want to, and we all hope to, but I didn't live as posh a life as Mick Jagger's. I mean, maybe I won't live as long as he did. I don't know. It depends on what kind of abuse you put your body through and how pampered you were. And you know what pampered means? It means looked after. Wealthy people are looked after real well. They go to trainers. They look after everything. I'm going to stay in shape. So now you're working with a real physical trainer. You've got a whole gym that you got set up in your own basement. There are things that extend your life because you have the money.
Yeah. So yeah.
I got rock and roll. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to do it until I can't do it anymore. That's it. I'm going the Lemmy route. That when they take me off the road, I just go away and I never come back. When it's over, it's over. It's over because I'm gone. That's when it all ends. It doesn't end before I'm gonna die. It ends when I'm gonna die.
Till your last breath.
That's a different attitude, and I understand it and live that code, and I always have. So the show must go on, and that's the way it is. When I did a show with Motorhead and Lemmy got on stage, basically 48 hours after he had open heart surgery, I'd say that's a fucking trooper. That's a fucking soldier, man. That's a big time fucking rock and roll god, man. To pull that shit off. Yeah.
He was. For me, he's not the king of rock and roll. He's the god of rock and roll.
Yeah, in a certain sense, and what he stood for. Never sell out. Never sell out. Be true to your fans from day one till your last breathing day, man. That is fucking the coolest. Never to fucking become a bubblegum band. Never to change his style. Whimsical bullshit. You know, didn't become a poser during the 80s. But come on, all of it. There's a lot to be loved about. Yeah, you know, people go, but he didn't make millions of dollars. He didn't make it like fucking, you know, Motley Crue. Who the fuck cares? You know, is Motley Crue going to get as much respect as Motorhead?
No.
I don't think so.
It will never get. It will never.
Well, they got Lemmy's statue right in Motley Crue's hometown. I don't see it. There you go.
That's right, yeah.
Not even in Lemmy's hometown, but no, in L.A. I mean, that's
Lemmy's hometown is not L.A.
Fucking posers. Who do they make a fucking statue of? Lemmy. Yeah. Not the guy who represents Hollywood at all. It's anti-Hollywood. He's anti-Hollywood. He's you know and the only thing that he did that he loved Hollywood for was the fact that he made it his home and he made the actual rainbow his living room. So he'd sit there and play with his fucking machine, and everybody in the world would come to his living room to meet him. He wouldn't have to go out to meet anybody. Everybody would come to meet him. What a fucking genius. So they make a statue because that's he realized what he's doing. It's easier to go over to the fucking Rainbow and order up a fucking beautiful meal than fucking start cooking at home. Especially when basically you're living across the street, right? And your favorite game is sitting there as you're waiting for your dinner. You can sit and play your favorite game and converse with all kinds of different people. He loved that. That's what he did. That's who he was. Was one of the truest human beings, yet rock star at the same time that you could ever fucking know. You know, and there's a lot to be said about that. So the person this is not the person who was known to be a locked up rock musician. This is somebody that was extraordinarily public basically on a daily basis, because that's how he preferred to live. Sure, he had his private moments, and then he would go home, and it's wonderful. But when you stop and think about it, that he made his living room in the Rainbow Bar and Grill, it's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
That in itself is a phenomenon. It's just most rock stars want anonymity. They don't want to be right in everybody's face all the time. They don't like it. But that's not the case with whom we're talking about. Somebody who enjoyed and was very, very comfortable in his life. And he was the kind of person, if he didn't want to talk, he'd tell you to fuck off. Go fuck off, I'm eating. Or whatever. So you fuck off until he's finished eating. It's simple. He doesn't mean fuck off forever. He said, fuck off, I'm eating. Right? That's the kind of person he was. There's no facade, no bullshit, no fucking candy coating. It's like things he said. If he said what he meant what he said. So that's the kind of person.
No compromise. Going your way, no compromise, and that's how we all respect him, and that's how I also really respect you for many years now.
Well, the thing is, you know, people. It's one thing for me to be talking about somebody, but it's another thing to be talking about somebody that I knew. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it feels for me. And that's somebody that I knew happens to be famous. That's besides the point. I'm talking about the kind of person this guy was. Mm-hmm. Everything is straight on and square. There's no fucking I'm going to dance around the fucking subject. It's like if you had something to say, he'd say it to you. And you respect people like that. They're not fucking bullshitting you. You know what you're getting is what you're supposed to get from them. You know, and what can I say? And that's honesty's everything. And I mean, I'm very I'm very glad to say that I knew him. But like I said, I mean, like I say, it's the same era. You know, we were doing the same kind of music in the same era at the same time, and in fact, even ended up on tour together and in support and stuff. So I got to know at a very important time, I think.
Mm.
You know, at the beginnings of all of it, when neither of us realized the impact that we'd have in eventuality. It's actually quite remarkable. You know, you stop and think about that. But I mean, everybody has different statuses and how many records they sell, and that puts them in different categories. But the bottom line, it doesn't make one person a better person or less of a person or less experienced or less. You know what I mean? You're traveling the same road and generally the same. You might be. I mean, Lemmy was 10 years older than me, so I'm 10 years behind him in the road. You know what I'm saying? Still hitting the same bumps, same kind of shit. You know, generally speaking, this is what comes with rock and roll. Well, yeah, he's right. That's what comes with it, all right. You know, it's what it is. You know, you want twists and turns and crazy fucking shit going on, like the Spinal Tap. Fuck yeah, bring it on. So that's what I say. It's a challenge. Come on, bring it on. Who the fuck cares? I'm gonna get through it. I always do. And what's a Spinal Tap moment? You want to talk about a Motorhead Spinal Tap moment? It's easy. Robbo from fucking, you know, Brian Robertson.
Brian Robert and
Yeah,
how he got kicked.
Yeah, and he's playing the beginning of one of the songs, and they put fog on the and he's got his echo going. He turns his echo on his guitar to get the sound effect, and then they fill the stage with fog. And he starts stomping around in the fog looking to shut the pedal off because his guitar's going dwang, 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 dwang. You know? So what are we going to make fun of Brian Robertson because this happened? It's a Spinal Tap moment.
Sorry for this.
You know? What's another Spinal Tap moment? How about they had a catwalk. Motorhead had a catwalk over top of the back line, so you could go up these stairs and walk over top of the whole fucking thing. So of course, Lemmy, I don't even think the whole fucking tour. I don't even think he went up there once in the whole fucking tour. So we get to the last show, and the roadies come up to me. They go, "Let's go ahead, go up and get up on the scaffold." I go, "Yeah," and they said, "Yeah, we haven't used it. Go ahead." So I go up on the scaffold, they take the stairs away. I couldn't get down.
I also heard the story that the fist on the Iron Fist tour that fist for the stage did not work out quite well. Something like this in 1982. I heard the story back then, but I don't know if it's true. That's that stage fist from the Iron Fist should have been problematic or something like this. I just heard that once. I don't know if it's right.
Yeah, there's a Judas Priest thing where they had two arms come up, and they're holding Glenn in one hand and they're holding AK in the other, and they rise up and come down. Well, one of the hands didn't come down. I don't know which guitar player was stuck up there playing the whole song till they figured out how to get it down. You know, it's like the drummer the drummer of Motley Crue that was playing upside down, right? He had this track, and it ends up upside down, and then it gets stuck there. So he's upside down on his kit, and he's stuck in 100 feet above the crowd. And they had to get him down from there. And they show him climbing out, and they got all these people helping him, and he's like, holy fuck. Yeah, so Spinal Tap, what is it? It's what comes with what, it's like I say, it's making fun of some serious things that have happened and will continue to happen. You know, everything from Michael Jackson's hair going on fire, right? Everybody forgot about that. He did the Coca-Cola commercial and his hair got on fire.
Okay, so yeah, I can just say thank you for your time, and it was a nice chat with you. Like 11 years after we did the first one, I was still younger.
Yeah, well, so was I.
So yeah, that's how time flies, and I just can say I really look forward for the release of the album. I will get my vinyl collection because I love the vinyl.
Okay, man.
And the vinyl version. We look forward to it. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to see you personally in Mannheim.
Okay. All right, you take care, and I'll see you.
See you in Mannheim. Thank you. Bye bye.